Hello friends, how are you today? Hello Frank, hi Marlia, who's in Flagstaff, hi Daniele, who's in snowy Switzerland, hi Molly, who's in Maine, hi Joyce, I'm not quite sure, I forget where you are Joyce, definitely not in Glasgow, I know that. Hi Tommy in Manhattan. Hi Jen, who's in Paris. Hi Anne-Florence, who's in Toulouse. Hi Carol, who's in Underhill, Vermont, where apparently it is cold. Yeah, great to have you all here. Hi Nora, my dear friend Nora, who's in Edinburgh, my old stomping grounds from my undergrad. Hi Diane Laske-Varsek, who's in the Ravinia area. I love Ravinia. I hope I get to play there again soon. What a great festival. Hello Alan, who's in Sag Harbor. Where is Sag Harbor? Is that up in Maine or something like that? And hi Christine, and hi Aigo. Great to have you all with us. Yeah. Joyce is in the anarchistic jurisdiction of Seattle. So called. All right. I want to play some music for you. And of course, Silvano Raffo is in Italy. Hopefully he's doing some more drawings today because we love those drawings. Thanks to all of you who joined us that last Thursday for the ticketed live stream with Gilad Hexelman. It was great to have you there. And AJ Shopek is joining us from Poland. I mean, it's truly amazing. You know, if you had told me before this pandemic that I'd be doing live concerts regularly for an audience that's spread that far and wide, I don't think I would have believed you. Pretty amazing. Oh yeah, Sag Harbor is in the Hamptons, but it's the Unhamptons. Okay, I get it. I understand what you're saying. I wrote a bunch of music this week. I actually wrote it all last night. I wrote 3 new songs. I wanted to have some new music for you. But before I dive into that, maybe I'll do a quick free improvisation just to get warmed up. Okay? So here we go. Free improvisation just for you on this January 25th of 2021. All right, little free improvisation for you to start off this this live stream today. Daniele Prolong says a whimsical in F minor. That's a pretty good description, I think. Marlia Reese says, my whole life I've wished I could live in a dog's nose for an hour. Now I think I'd rather live in your head for an hour. That is one of the funniest things I've ever heard on this. I love it. Thanks for that, Marlia. Live in a dog's nose for an hour. Yeah, that sounds pretty interesting. I remember reading an article about scent in the New Yorker where they mentioned that some scientists did an experiment to see if humans could track by scent. You know, I mean, dogs can just follow a scent for miles, right? Just the very tiny pieces of odor that a living thing leaves as it moves through grass or something like that. Dogs can track that. And they actually got people to get down on their hands and knees and sniff the ground. And it turns out people can do it, but they're just incredibly slow at it. The way dogs can just like run, humans have to kind of painstakingly move, you know, inch by inch, smelling the scent. I still kind of have a hard time believing that really does work, but New Yorker is pretty good at fact checking, so who knows. Molly Shen quotes Jane Siberry's song, "Everything Reminds Me of My Dog." Okay, I don't know that song. And AJ Chopek says, that was like playing in the snow. Yeah, I like that description. Mm-hmm. All right. I'm going to play something I wrote for you. I think I'm going to start with the one I wrote at 2 a.m. last night. This doesn't have a name, and as usual, I would love to have your suggestions for a name if you have them. Frank Schumann says, I think we can detect a single odor molecule in principle. Yeah, we're just way less sensitive than dogs, and I guess we don't pay as much attention as they do. Yeah, Daniele Prolong mentions the preview of the music, which I think you can see from this angle. And indeed, this is all written by hand. I've been doing this thing where I actually have been writing music by hand on the iPad. Works really well, it turns out, because you can really easily... My whole problem with composing, and I think a lot of people can relate to this, is you write something and then you have a different idea, but you're not 100% sure that it's better than the original. So what do? You know, in the past, I might actually copy out what I'd already written on a new piece of paper and then write a new ending to it. Or I'd do this like elaborate system of like stars and like, okay, once you get to this star, you go to this other star and all that. But with the iPad, I can just duplicate what I've just written and then erase whatever I want to erase and then keep writing. And the writing experience is basically the same as on paper because I'm using this Apple Pencil. So it's actually pretty nice. I've really been enjoying it. It feels liberating creatively because you always feel like you can go back to the old version if you need to. All right, so yeah, this was written at between 2 and 3 a.m. last night and doesn't have a name. If you can think of one, please let me know. Here goes. All right. What do you think of that? Somehow I'm not getting comments from you anymore. Oh, now I'm getting some comments. Okay. So I guess you did hear that. Good. Joyce Glasgow suggests Scarlet Palette. I like that. I like that. I like Scarlet Palette. I think I'm gonna add that here. Scarlet Palette. Thank you, Joyce. Yeah, I feel like that was my first time playing it, and I think I'll play it for you again once I've had time to play it a little bit on my own. Let's see. Paul James Brown says, jogging on the beach, that's what it sounds like to me. I can see the water creeping up on the sand as I try to avoid getting wet. It chases me. Huh. I like that. Of course, you're a little bit biased, Paul, because you live in Hawaii. So, but yeah, I know what you mean. I do know what you mean. I'm going to have to see if I can get this. I'm having trouble reading your comments here. So let me see if I can get this in some better way. I think I will be able to. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now I can see your comments a lot better. Itamar Erez says, loved it. Thank you. Molly Shen says, like this a lot, felt like walk and talk to me with a shimmer in places. Walk and talk. I like that. Yeah. Do you mean like the thing that they do in those, in like the fast-paced political TV series like The West Wing, where they're always walking and talking at the same time? I think there was a question earlier. Yeah. So Itamar Erez says, yes, also wondering what app you are using for writing on the iPad. I am using Fourscore. Yeah. But I mean, I'm not even really using any of the functionality of Fourscore. I'm literally just writing. It's not like doing anything it's not doing anything musical. I could just as well use a drawing app of any kind. Doesn't really make any difference. Yeah, Jen Detour says, very up, precisely for 3 a.m. Reminds me of something I'd hear in a Spike Lee comedy. Main character walks down the street early morning, Greek diner, coffee cup to go in hand. Prospect Park early morn rhapsody? What's our lonely giraffe up to? All right, cool. I guess we'll see what our lonely giraffe, aka Silvano Raffo, is drawing. Okay, I want to play something else for you. I think I'd like to take a request from you. Do you have a request for a song that I might know? Actually, wait, I think I'd like to play something. I'd like to play I'll Be Seeing You, which I played on Thursday with Gilad Hexelman. A beautiful standard that I've hardly ever played before. Here we go. I'll Be Seeing You. I'll Be Seeing You. What a beautiful song, huh? Really kind of surprising song. AJ Chopek says, that was so film noir. Two lovers who know that this is the last time they've seen each other. No regrets, warm memories of things that will never be forgotten. Oh, wow. David Shine requests, So What? That's kind of a great request. Yeah, why not? Why not? Why not? So what? Let's try that. All right, So What by Miles Davis. I think that's one of the few tunes written by Miles Davis that's uncontested. I haven't heard anybody say that he didn't write it. So he probably did write that one. That was fun. I haven't played that since I was probably 18 or something like that. It's funny. It's one of those tunes that that's really simple in appearance, but it's actually, there's a couple challenges with it. I remember as a teenager, keeping the form was a challenge, because there's a lot of the same thing happening, and so keeping track of where you are in the harmonic form and then hitting the bridge at the right time. I remember that was kind of a challenge. And also, what are you going to do with all that D minor? I mean, you got to have some kind of harmonic ideas or melodic ideas to do something with there. The form doesn't really help you. And that was kind of the point of modal jazz, was let's take away the strictures of the harmonic form that kind of guide you very strongly in a certain direction, and let's just open it up. Carol McGoffin says, smashingly good and fun. So what? Hi, Mike Seitz. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing well. Daniela Prolong says, he played his entire set turning his back to the audience, as he often did at that time. 1 year later, he would be gone. Wow, so I didn't see your earlier comment, but I guess that means you got to see Miles Davis live, which you are very lucky to have gotten to do. That's awesome. All right, I'm going to play another song that I wrote for you today. Well, I wrote it last night. So this is actually one that I had written a sketch of in Paris in December, and I hadn't finished it. I'm not sure it's finished now, but I think it's playable. It's not easy, so I'm going to do my best to play for you. I've had almost no time to look at it. Yeah, doesn't have a title, so let me know what you think. something totally different. Yeah, I was playing around with fourths in that and alternating between 4/4, 7/4, and 5/4, or 5/8, I guess. 7/8, 5/8, and 4/4. Yeah, what'd you think of that? Marlia Ree says, this tune immediately conjures up a subway scene. AJ Chopek says, loved it. Title idea, Verdi Don't Go. Verdi Don't Go. Like vertigo, but Verdi Don't Go. I really like the sentiment. I feel like it's almost a little too clever with the pun. Like, that's going to be hard to make that translate. I'm going to write it down, though. And Joyce Glasgow suggests burnished streams. Verti don't go. Burnished streams. Silvano Raffo suggests healing fight. Okay. Seems to be inspiring a lot of ideas from you guys. And David Shine says mountain train. Mountain train, okay. Joyce Glasgow has another one, kinetic ribbons. I love these titles because they're all getting. It's kind of like if you took a picture of something from a bunch of different angles, even if the light was low and you couldn't quite make it out in each of the pictures, if you got enough angles, then eventually you'd actually understand what the picture is. Or an even better example of that kind of thing, something that still fascinates me, the evolutionary biologist Stephen Jay Gould is one of my favorite writers. I think I might have spoken about him like months and months and months ago. Maybe not, though. In his book, Ever Since Darwin, he talks about a mollusk that lives in the sea, and over millions of years of evolution, the mollusk, I can't exactly remember how this works, but for some reason having to do with its feeding or something, it needs to attract a certain kind of fish. And so the mollusk has a shell, but outside of the shell is sticking out a bit of its flesh. And over millions of years of evolution, this little piece of flesh has evolved to look to like a stunning degree, just like the fish it's trying to attract. So this is a mollusk that actually has this like little fake fish attached to it. And it's like, that's the way evolution works, right? It's like if over millions and millions of years, every one of these mollusks gets a chance to by random mutations in its genes to change this little piece of flesh that's sticking out a little bit. And if millions of fish go by, and the ones that, and when they recognize it as a fellow fish, this mollusk does a little better evolutionarily, then over time, there's going to be selection for the mollusk that has the best formed fish, the one that looks the most like a fish. And so it's like some evolution is taking pictures of the fish, but in this incredibly indirect way. So I feel like there's a little bit of this happening here with you guys coming up with titles for this tune, and it's like all these different views on it, and like eventually we're gonna have a perfect view of what the tune is. Mike Seitz says full rolling boil. Yeah, that's kind of nice too. I like that. Full rolling boil. Carol McGoffin says, I like healing fight that Silvano mentioned. Yeah, that's nice. I like that idea of vertigo. I forget who mentioned that, but there is a kind of a like there's like there's an unsteady aspect to this tune, right? Something about teetering and maybe almost falling. Yeah, Silvano Raffo says, we're all in different places, but in the same place. I like that. Kind of like what we're doing with these live streams in the first place. And Frank Geyer says, we can start talking real science in the USA again. Yeah, did you guys see Fauci's press conference where he was elated to be able to tell the press that he could finally actually just talk about science in a straightforward way, just report the science and the facts. Kind of amazing that it's come to that, but anyway. George Thomas Wilson suggests unsteady aspect. I like that too. All right, a lot of suggestions here. I like this. Any more requests from you guys? I would like to, yeah, I think I'm going to play a request, and then I have a third tune that I wrote last night that I want to play for you. Marlia Reese says, can't wait for my Fauci ouchie. Yeah, I know what you mean. A COVID shot, a Fauci ouchie. I hadn't heard that before, but I like it. Daniele Prolong requests Roadrunner. Okay. Oh wow, Frank Schumann requests All of Me. Maybe because I posted this week. I posted Lenny Tristano's solo on All of Me. Yeah, maybe. Maybe I'll try playing All of Me for you. I don't know if I'm going to remember the line. I memorized it. I'm going to try. Let's do it. I like taking risks on this live stream. First, I'm going to prepare the piano because it sounds a lot better this way. Let's see. But I don't have enough of this stuff. Oh, wait, maybe I do. I do. Yay. Okay. So what I'm doing right now is I'm muting the bass strings so that I can play the this kind of left-hand ostinato that I've been doing with this solo by Lenny Tristano. I should say a few words about this solo by Lenny Tristano. It's are you gonna see me better if I do this? No. This is a solo he took in 1958. Is that right? It's over the chord changes to All of Me, but it's really specific because what he did is he recorded it probably at half speed. He slowed down the bass and drums and then improvised over the bass and drums at half speed, so half as fast and an octave below. And then he sped the whole thing up by twice with the effect of it being twice as fast and an octave higher. And it's really an amazing track. It's called Lineup. It's amazing because there's, first of all, he's doing a lot of very innovative stuff for the time. He's doing a lot of rhythmic and harmonic displacement that is pretty ahead of its time. And also because he slowed everything down so much and then sped it up, the rhythmic placement is just like unbelievably precise, and it's just so it's so grooving. It's pretty amazing. So yeah, here we go. I'm gonna try this out. I haven't played it since I recorded it, so hopefully this will go well. going to try that again. Here we go. Got through it. So that was Lenny Tristano's solo as he played it. There was no improvising there from me, except the left hand is something that I added. But yeah, that was Lenny Tristano's solo. Actually, that's only the first 4 choruses of it. He goes on for another 4, I think. But I think by that point we kind of understand what he's doing. Here's something kind of interesting about it. He's doing this amazing harmonic displacement. So like if it's A flat major, he'll go. And the effect that's providing is kind of like 1 half step up and then resolving to the 1. But one thing I noticed, I checked out the solo in my early 20s and I just thought, okay, he's just playing a half step up. But one thing I noticed coming back to this solo is that he's actually being incredibly precise in which notes he chooses for that half step up. So for instance, he's doing this. It's the pentatonic, right? And there's a lot of other examples. So right. So that's pentatonic, and not to get too much in the weeds here, but in fact, when he's doing this thing that sounds like it's a half step up, I think what he's thinking is the dominant in an altered mode. Okay, so that those pentatonic notes a half step up, actually what they're doing is not a random half step up thing. What they're doing is they are suspending the resolution of the dominant. And something that Mozart would do, for example, he lands on A flat, but instead of going, he goes. So that's exactly the same as what Lenny Tristano is doing here when he goes. It's a Mozartian that make sense? So I thought that was a lot of fun for me to spend time with this and kind of understand better what it is that he's doing. Joyce Glasgow asks for an improv on the thoughts of a mollusk. And Alan Zola Kronzek says, thrilling. I was a Tristano student many years ago. Only other performance I've heard of this was by Lenny Popkin solo at the Tristano Memorial Concert. Yeah, this has definitely become a classic solo, and it's one that I know a number of people who've learned it. That's so cool that you studied with Tristano, Alan. Hopefully we can talk about that someday. What was I going to say? Yeah, I'm going to do an improvisation on the thoughts of a mollusk. Let's do that. All right. What do you think of that? Grace Chu says clam fest. Yeah, so that was fun. I've never improvised on the thoughts of a mollusk before. Joyce Glasgow writes, undersea blue and green currents echoing, vibrating through water and sea foam, a Morse code of mollusks. Wow. Love that, Joyce. Thank you. Marlia Reese says, Dan transports us underwater, pulsing in the mind of a mollusk. Thank you, Joyce. Yeah. That was fun. Great idea. Free improvisation on the thoughts of a mollusk. Who'd have thunk it, right? Okay. I'm going to play one last one for you guys. This is one I wrote last night, I think about 1 in the morning. This one was a really quick one. I think I wrote in about 35 minutes. And maybe you'll have a tune. Maybe you'll have a title for it. AJ Schopek says, who else jumped in the tub for that? Oh, and Jen Detour mentions My Octopus Professor, which I don't think I've mentioned, but I did watch it. I watched it and I loved it. Thank you for that recommendation, Jen. That was quite a special movie. I kept asking myself how he was managing to both have this unmediated, incredibly intimate experience with an octopus and also have the footage to show, that it happened. That's quite a balancing act. I kind of suspect he might have gone back in there with his son. Maybe his son was filming some of the stuff. Anyway, amazing. I definitely recommend My Octopus Professor if you haven't seen it. Silvana Raffo says, I think every new tune should be called I Should Get Some Sleep number N. Yeah, this is probably I Should Get Some Sleep number 2 million. Here we go, guys. I look forward to hearing your title ideas for this one. Ha! That was fun. I think that's one of the more fun tunes I've written these past months. Fun to play over. So obviously it's a blues, right? David Shine suggests Creepin' Lizard Blues. Okay? I like it. I like it. Creepin' Lizard Blues. And this time I'm going to write down who suggested this. Okay. Any other title ideas? Marlia Reese says, speaking of camera shots, I bet I'm not the only one who'd like to see a shot of you as a little kid at the piano. There are moments when you play that I imagine fleetingly I see in your facial expressions the eternal child in you. Yeah, let me see. I know I have one here somewhere. I don't know where it is. There must be one somewhere. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to find it this quickly. But actually, I posted one to Instagram a while ago, a picture of me, probably about 3 years old, playing the piano. And it's a pretty sweet little picture. So, yeah, I'm not going to find it right now, unfortunately. But yeah, I'll try to dig that up for next week. Max Phage Peterson suggests Black Ruby for this song. Okay. Black Ruby. Ah. And Silvano Ruffo says Mosquito Blues. It does have a kind of a biting quality, right? Like it might bite you. Bing! Mosquito Blues. And AJ Shopek says Popcorn Squabble Blues. He says, I can explain. Yeah, you better explain, man. Popcorn Squabble Blues. Dig. Yeah. And Jen DeTour says, Moody Monday Merveilleux. I dig it. I dig it. I don't know how specific that is to this song, but let's keep that for future reference. And I admire the alliteration, Moody Monday Merveilleux. Carol McGoffin says, makes me feel we are jumping on the moon with space creatures. Haha, other life forms. Oh, I like that. I like that idea. Oh, and Joyce says, scroll up for more. Okay, let's see. Oh, Paul James Brown points out it's Etta James's birthday today. Amazing. Well, good thing I played a blues. Wow. And some more suggestions. Silvano suggests Other Minds by Godfrey Smith. Molly Shen suggests Soul of an Octopus. Okay. I'll bear that in mind. And David Shine asks, how do you switch camera shots while you're playing? I actually wrote a computer program that does it for me. Does it randomly. And Grace Chu suggests Petit Bonhomme on the Bus as a title suggestion. I kind of like that. Petit Bonhomme on the Bus. Nice. All right. Well, so So AJ Chopek explains his title. It's like when chickens squabble over popcorn, corn squabble. I could see two adults having a trivial fight over something silly while popcorn was popping. Oh, well, I like that. Yeah, because there is kind of like a boom, boom, boom element to it, and there's also something else happening. Okay, I dig that. Popcorn squabble blues. Maybe just popcorn squabble, because it's a blues. We know it's a blues. Joyce Glasgow suggests 52nd Street, 1949. Yeah. You know what's interesting? Another bit of music trivia for you guys is that, in fact, the first new tune I wrote for you, I played for you today, is also a blues. It's just a blues with a lot of harmonic substitutions. But here, I'll play the melody for you again. See if you can pick up on how it's a blues. So it's a blues because it follows the form of a blues. It goes 1, 4, 1, and then 4, 1, and then 5, 4, 1. Just with a whole bunch of other things happening that kind of lead between those chords. But in fact, it's a 12-bar blues or a 24-bar blues, depending on how you count. Blues is kind of an amazing form. I mean, you could probably write anything over the blues form because it is so basic and it really covers all the bases. Even though, you know, a lot of the time no one would know that it was a blues. Kristen Berardi is with us, and her daughter Emily says, "I don't know really what everyone is talking about because we just tuned in." Okay, thanks for letting me know, Emily. And hi, Emily. Hope you're enjoying Switzerland. All right, guys. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for being with us today, because without you, I'd just be alone here, and it's very hard to keep creating alone. I feel like it's important to share. That's essential to this process. So thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. Stay safe and healthy. Get those shots if you can. And I will see you next week. And don't forget, February 7th, not 6th as I announced before, February 7th, the next ticketed live stream, Sunday, February 7th, 3 p.m. New York time, is going to be duo with the great Fred Hirsch, who's been a mentor of mine for many years, and this should be pretty special. Duo over Jack Trip with Fred Hirsch. So mark your calendars. The tickets are not yet available for sale, but they will be within a few days. Molly Shen says, "What a joy. Thanks, Dan. Thanks for your 3 compositions today." And the comments are going too fast for me to read them, but thank you so much. Emily, Kristen's daughter, says, "No, don't go." Sorry, Emily. Got to tune in earlier next time. Thanks again to you all, and see you next week.